The best identity theft protection strategy involves locking and monitoring your credit at all three of the major credit bureaus, scanning the dark web for your personal information, submitting removal requests to data broker sites that are trying to sell your personal information, and having an insurance plan that covers things like stolen funds, legal fees, and even reimbursement for time spent resolving the issue. Now, if you already know a little bit about this space, you're probably already aware that there are services out there to help with all of this. And if you're interested in something like LifeLock or Aura, there are discount links in the description below if you want to give any of them a try. You can skip to the timestamps listed in this video, or we have other reviews on this channel where we dive a little bit deeper into each of these services. So in this video, we're going to talk about what identity theft even looks like today, how it happens, and whether or not you actually need to pay for a service, or if there are free steps out there that you can take to help feel protected. So, how does someone steal your identity? Well, the reality is criminals have gotten a lot more creative and sophisticated over the last few years. If you're picturing someone, picking your pocket or rifling through your trash, that's actually one of the least efficient ways for someone to steal your identity now. The real issue is that there is no exact threshold for how much information an identity thief needs about you to start doing damage to your finances or your credit or your identity. There's some assumption that a criminal needs some specific sensitive data about you in order to do harm, like they need your social security number or something like that. And the second thing is that the harm is going to be swift and dramatic, like some big unauthorized purchase on your credit card. But that's not actually the case. Rather than some large purchase that's unauthorized, maybe they open a line of credit in your name that you don't find out about until months after the fact. Or they file a fake tax return in your name, or they use your child's identity to claim a refund from the government. There's a whole range of identity theft crimes that are shockingly easy to commit. Now, people think the number one thing that they have to monitor and protect with their life is their social security number. And while it is a lot easier for a criminal to open accounts in your name if they have that, the reality is they don't often need it. So think about how many services you sign up for that never ask for your social security number, just a name, an email, your home address, maybe your phone number. And all of that stuff is shockingly out there. I mean, just think about the number of robocalls and junk mail you get. People have that information about you in one form or another. And you're probably thinking, yeah, I know it's bad. What do I actually do about it? So let's talk about protection. Now, there are free services out there that can help alert you to data breaches or even monitor your credit to a certain extent. But unless you're willing to balance a bunch of different logins, alerts, and monthly follow-ups, you're likely going to want some form of a paid service just to help stay on top of things and give you some peace of mind. Now, the good news is there are services out there that bundle all of the protections that we're talking about, the credit monitoring, dark web searches, data broker removal, even offer insurance policies in the event your identity gets stolen. We tested most of these services, and our team has kind of put them through the paces, comparing, how fast you get alerts to potential threats, or how many unique dark web alerts each service finds, and even how easy they are to set up and get to using. The two biggest names in the game are Aura and LifeLock. Now, you're probably already aware of LifeLock. You might even remember the ad campaign where the founder put his actual social security number in all of the ads and then proceeded to get his identity stolen 13 times. Now, LifeLock is still a trusted name in the game. They offer pretty solid protection. If you're looking for something with antivirus, a VPN, and some good name recognition, they might be a solid choice for you. But here's the issue. LifeLock structures their plans in tiers, and what you're actually getting on each of those tiers can get a little confusing. For full protection, you really only get it on the most expensive plan. Let me try and explain what I'm talking about. So you want 3-bureau credit monitoring. You have a credit report with the top 3 major bureaus. That's Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. But LifeLock will only monitor one of those 3 credit bureaus on their basic and advantage mid-tier plan. It's a pretty serious flaw. One bureau monitoring just isn't enough. So that's why my actual recommendation is its competitor, Aura. With Aura, you get 3-bureau credit monitoring, data broker removal, dark web monitoring, and a good insurance plan. And it's basically the same coverage on every single plan. The only change is how many people get covered. They have plans for individuals, plans for you and your spouse, and plans for your family. Setting up Aura takes less than 10 minutes. You select your plan, you put in your basic information, and it starts scanning for your information almost immediately. Now, when I first signed up, it took me about a minute and a half to put in my basic information and start the initial dark web scan, which revealed that I had multiple passwords that were compromised out there that I just had no idea about. Now, the dashboard is also really easy to navigate. One of the first things I would recommend doing is hopping into your vault, which is where you can put things that you want Aura to monitor, like licenses, financial accounts, even loyalty cards. It can monitor a shocking number of things, and it will even auto-populate things based on public records, like any vehicles that have been registered in your name. In my experience, what really makes Aura different is the speed and comprehensiveness of its monitoring. So take credit bureau monitoring. They monitor all 3 credit bureaus across all of their plans, while most other services will monitor 1 credit bureau and then upcharge you to cover all 3. Their one-click credit lock feature is actually also super useful. I keep my credit locked 99% of the time and only unlock it when I need to apply for a line of credit, and then I just lock it back down again. Now, their dark web monitoring also continuously scans the shadowy corners of the internet where your information could be popping up. And the purpose of this is to alert you when your information shows up so that you can take preemptive action when necessary. Let's say one of your passwords shows up in some shadowy corner of the dark web. You can then change that password before somebody has the opportunity to take that and use it against you. They also do data broker removal, which is where they scan for different websites that are packaging and selling your personal information. They find where it's located, they contact the sites on your behalf and tell them to take it down, and then they follow up with them later to make sure that they actually do. This is something that you can do manually by yourself, but it takes hours and hours trying to sift through these different websites and processes, and ultimately is a total time suck, and they handle it for you automatically on a rolling basis without you having to lift a finger. Now, if your identity does get stolen, Aura offers up to $1 million in coverage for every person on one of their plans. And that coverage goes to cover things like stolen funds, legal fees, lost wages from time spent trying to resolve the issue, and even childcare costs from while you're fixing the issue. It's not just some, blanket coverage. It actually digs in and takes care of certain costs that most people don't even think about until the worst happens. And what really impressed me about Aura was their 24/7 white glove fraud resolution team. When identity theft strikes, you really don't want to be dealing with it alone. Their experts handle everything. They file police reports, they call banks, they call credit bureaus on your behalf. When we tested their customer service, we called late at night on a Friday, got a pickup in under a minute, and then they answered all of the questions that we had. Having that kind of support when your identity is compromised is invaluable, and honestly what makes Aura one of the best services out there. Like I mentioned before, I have a discount link in the description below if you want to try Aura, which I would highly recommend. We also have links for LifeLock, but again, I would really recommend if you go with LifeLock, you go with their Ultimate Plus plan, because you don't want credit monitoring that leaves crucial gaps. Now, let me know in the comments if you have any questions about identity theft protection or Aura or any other, cybersecurity things that you've dealt with. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next one.